Welcome to our second video on how to draw graphs in Excel for science. The second graph that we're going to draw is the line graph. So the previous video we drew a column or bar graph. This time we're going to draw a line graph. Once again, before you start drawing your graph, you need to make sure that your data is collected and organised into a good table. Again, here's the same table that we looked at before with the key information that you need to put. Once you've got your table drawn, then we decide that we want to draw a line graph. So when would we draw a line graph? Well, there's two options. The previous graph we drew was this column graph, and we could have drawn a line graph for that, but it was more appropriate because it was categorical data. So we looked at golf ball, tennis ball. Categorical means that there's words involved, description of the data, rather than just numbers. Generally, we use a line graph for discrete data, or we can use it for continuous data as well. So that's when numbers are involved. So what we're going to do is do an example of a line graph today. So again, here's an example of a line graph that we're going to try and create. It's going to look slightly different to this one, but it has the same sort of information. So here's the data we've got. So we've collected some data and we've got the distance that the object travelled and the time it took to get to that position. So after 0 meters, it took 4 seconds to go nowhere, so it didn't move for 4 seconds. And then in the next 5 seconds, it travelled 8. And then after 5 seconds, it had travelled 8 meters. And then after 10 seconds, it had travelled 37 meters. And after 15 seconds, it had travelled 96 meters. So we want to graph that. Now you'll notice over here on the right-hand side, the example graph, generally, if time is involved, not always, but most of the time, if time is involved in one of the variables, then it generally goes on the horizontal axis. So that's a good rule of thumb. Now, if you have watched the previous video, you'll notice that you'll know that our independent variable goes on the horizontal axis. And in the previous set of data, where possible, we put our independent variable on the left, in the left-hand column. Now, unfortunately, whoever set this table up put the data the wrong way round. So we can't just go ahead and select it. I'll show you what happens when we do. If we just select it in the order we've got now and we want a line graph, so to draw a line graph, I'll go through this more slowly when we get to that point, you'll notice that our distances are down here on the horizontal axis and our times are up here on the vertical axis, which is the opposite to what we want. So we can't just select the data. So we've got two options. The quickest and easiest way is actually do it correctly the first time. Put the time in the left-hand column and the distance in the right-hand column. So be very careful when you're drawing your graph that you put your data in the correct order. So what I'm going to do is simply cut and paste the data so that it goes in the correct order. I'll just cancel that, delete that column, so then I've got a nice, neat set of data. Once again, notice there is no units, so seconds, the little s, is not written in each column. Similarly, distance is not in each column. Okay, so just be aware that you get your data in the right order. Once you've got it in the right order, then drawing the graph is easy. So this time we're drawing, as I said, a line graph. You'll notice the line graph is simply a straight line that joins each point. Okay, that straight line. So we select our data, insert. Now, the line graph is hidden inside this one, the scatter plot, and you'll notice it's down here. Okay. Now, you'll also notice that when we can choose that. Now, there are also line graphs up here, so we can go to this one. But the problem with choosing that one is it treats each individual data set individually, and we don't want that. We want to plot them as a relationship. So I'm going to choose the scatter plot, and I'm going to come down to scatter. You can draw it with a smooth line or with no dots, but I want this one with dots because it stands out. Click. Okay. You'll also notice that it hasn't actually drawn. That's an issue with Excel. There's not a lot we can do about that, but it hasn't drawn the first line in. Okay, you can manually do that by going to insert a shape and pick a line and literally draw it in. Okay, and then you can make the line thicker and so forth, and there it is. So you can do that if you choose. All right, but again, we're going to change all of our information because again, we want a heading. So we've got a heading here. I might put the heading distance by a runner in 15 seconds. Example, again, I want axes titles to make it a good graph. So I click on the plus sign over here, add axes titles. Well, it's moved my little line, so you've got to be careful about that. So I might move that out of the way for the moment. Bottom axis title, well, that's my time in seconds. So we put in our units as well. Enter. Again, I could choose to cut and paste from our headings. So copy that, click on the title, paste it in the bar, enter, and there it is. Now I can, whoops, try and get that little line. It's not going to come back for me. So I'll see if I can do it this way. No, it's stuck. All right, and there's my graph.